It's going to be riveting. Chapter 6 is riveting. All right. We do get to, the names of these ones are kind of fun. So I don't know, maybe you'll think it's funny, maybe not. Okay. Y'all crack me up. So, as usual, we start under content. Go ahead to the Cengage module here, open your textbook, and we're in Unit 2, Chapter 6, Design. No, wait, hold on. What is it? It went away. Design with essential blending modes and filters. All right, so we're going to do Lesson 1. Yeah, we're going to do Lesson 1 today. That one's the one that's due. All right. So Cengage, Unit 2, Chapter 6, Lesson 1. Open 6-1 and save it as no surrender. All right, I'm going to have to get closer to the screen because I can't see it. All right, and then File, Save As, No Surrender. I just put a bunch of letters that don't have anything to do with that word. There we go. Okay. So, sorry, I'm scooted over a little bit. Let me get in here and make this bigger. All right, so show and target the magenta layer, clicking the blending mode list arrow on the layers panel, then click multiply. So show the blending, show and target the magenta layer, click the blending mode list arrow on the layers panel. So that would be this one that says normal. And we're going to find multiply. And so what multiply does for blending, and if you took Illustrator, you've used these before, but multiply acts like a watercolor almost. So anything that you blend, any colors that you apply multiply to, you'll be able to see through them, and they'll actually blend with other colors as well. So it's probably the one you use the most. All right, now show the cyan layer. All right. And it says, because the layer is normal in normal mode, the cyan rectangle obscures everything beneath it. Set the cyan layer's blending mode to multiply. So we'll target that and go with multiply. And so you can see the difference. I'm going to get rid of these guides for now as well. So I'm just going to, I don't know if I'm going to be using them later. Let's see. Well, I don't see hide guides, so unfortunately, we're going to clear the guides. Okay. Now delete the magenta layer and delete the cyan layer. So just click it and a little trash can. Oh, so we're in chapter 6, lesson 1. And so this file is 6-1. All right. Yeah, no problem. So show and target the yellow-white gradient layer and then multiply it. So target that. Then we'll do multiply. Show and target the black and white gradient layer and then multiply it. Get all these crazy effects. There we go. Now save your work and continue. So file, save. All right, so now show and target the cyan circle layer, then multiply it.
Better.
Show and target, then multiply. Oh, did it tell me? I'm sorry. It said to delete that one. I was wondering. Okay. So delete black and white was yellow. Yep, sorry. I missed those 2 steps. We're getting rid of these, or you can just hide them. It doesn't matter to me. Okay. So now back to down here. Now show and target the yellow circle layer and multiply. All right. So target both layers and click Create New Group button on the Layers panel to create a new group. So hold Shift, target both of those, and then down here, this little folder thing, we'll make those into a group. So it says the 2 circles are moved into the group named Group 1. The blending mode applied to Group 1 is pass-through by default. Pass-through indicates the group functions as an organizational tool to house the 2 layers. As shown in figure 6, the effect of the 2 multiplied circles passes through, continuing to multiply over the brick wall. All right, so now we're going to change the blending mode on Group 1 to normal. So just highlight it and change to normal. And so like now they are blended together, but you can't see through them. Now target Group 1 and delete, right? So group and contents. Now save your work. All of that to get to here. Okay, so now that we kind of understand how the blending modes work, we're going to open file 6-2 and create this no retreat, no surrender. Let's call it artwork on our brick wall here. Okay, so file, open 6-2. So apparently this is a lyric from an old Bruce Springsteen song. I don't think I've ever heard it. Nor will I try. Another brick in the wall would have been way cooler if they had used Pink Floyd instead of Bruce Springsteen. I tell you what, it's more letters, but you've got the full alphabet here. If you want to make this another brick in the wall, I'm fine with that. Go for it. So that's your 2 choices. You can be no, what is it? No, hold on. No retreat, no surrender, or another brick in the wall. Same thing there. All right. So now select the rectangular marquee tool, drag a box around the letter N, copy it, and then paste it into the no surrender document. So the letter N, we're going to do a marquee selection around it. And then we are going to go to edit, copy. And then in our no surrender document, we're going to go edit, paste. All right, so there is our first letter. Name the new layer in and apply the multiply blending mode. The white background disappears. Okay, so this is important. Whatever letters you choose to use, you're going to want to name the layer that letter, because that can get very, very confusing. So name it and then apply the multiply blending mode. All right, and then copy and paste O-R-E-T. So again, whatever letters you're using, just go in here one by one. And then I'm going to do Control C. Control V. Just for the sake of time, I'm going to do a couple of these at once. Control C, Control V. Oops. Let's see, E, Control C, Control V, and then T. Control C, Control V. Okay. So now that I have pasted these letters in, I'm going to go through the layers and name them. So this is T, and then I'm going to set up their blending mode to multiply. All right, layer 3, this is E. And then R. And O. Okay. So now press and hold Option or Alt and drag the R layer to the top of the layers panel to duplicate it. So Option or Alt, drop that off, and you have an R copy. And then it says move the second R into place, duplicate the layer E, move the second E into place. Okay. So this part is not my favorite because anytime you want to move, I don't know, I guess I'm used to other things where, you know, you just grab the letter and it changes the layer, but that's not how Photoshop works. You actually have to target the layer and then you can move it. All right. Oops. What are the chances of me spelling this wrong? Probably pretty good. Okay, so now Alt or Option and make a copy of the second E. And then you'll be able to move that over. And then it says, using this method, finish your phrase. So we need an A. Control C. Control V. And name it A. Set it to multiply. And then move it into place. And then we're going to make a copy of that T, holding Alt or Option, move it to the top. All right. So I have no retreat. Now I need no surrender. I'm just going to make a copy of the N and a copy of the O. And I'll need some of these other ones too, but let's go ahead and move that one. This is the most time-consuming part of this, is just placing all of these things. So let's see, I need an S. Oops. All right, put that to multiply. I'm going to move it into place. I need a U. I'm sorry, I keep switching back with the tools. This is excruciating for me. All right, so I think I'm just going to misspell a word really quick, and we're going to use that. We can move on with the rest of this. So y'all get this part, right? You're going to spell out a word on the wall. Yeah. Okay, I'll make 2 copies of this R. Whoops, I don't know what I just did. All right, and then I'll make a copy of this one. So there's one. There's one. I'll do E. I don't know which one this was. There you go. Okay, that's as far as I'm going to go. Now I'm going to make my 2 groups. So my first group will be the no surrender. So this one. So I'm just going to shift and hold everything for no surrender. And then make that a group. And I'm going to double click and call it no surrender. Whoops. And then my no retreat. Ooh, I think I missed one. All right. So we'll call this one no retreat. All right. And then since I missed one, I'm going to just kind of hover over surrender and drop it off. And now it's part of that group. You finished it? You must be way better at spelling than I am. Okay. So move the no retreat group to the top of the layers panel. Move that up. And then save your work. So file and save. All right. So assess the no retreat, no surrender image. It looks unfinished. That's my assessment. So the type looks good, but because the letters are black, nothing of the brick shows through the paint. It would be more effective if the details of the brick showed through the paint. So expand the no retreat group, target the top layer in the group, add a hue saturation adjustment layer, and then click colorize checkbox on the properties layer. So expand the no retreat group. There we go. Target the top layer. And then we're going to add a hue saturation adjustment layer. Go under here. And then we're going to click the colorize checkbox, which is down here at the bottom. Okay, so because the blending mode of the no retreat group is set to pass through, the adjustments affect the background image of the sofa. Change the blending mode on no retreat group to normal. So back to your layers panel, target the no retreat group, and let's change it to normal. That doesn't look good at all. 2 things happen when the no retreat group's blending mode changes to normal. The hue saturation adjustment continues to affect the letters because they are in the group, but it does not affect the background image because it's not in the group. In addition, the letters are no longer multiplied over the wall because the normal blending mode prohibits blending modes on layers in the group from affecting images outside. So now change the blending mode on the no retreat group to multiply. Okay. Check it out. Looks Looks a little better, right? Looks more like paint spray this time. All right, now select the hue saturation layer. And then I think we need to target this part. And then go to the properties panel, and under hue, we'll type 15, saturation 40, and lightness to 45. The paint becomes a rust color, and the texture of the bricks is visible through the paint. So now let's zoom in and look. Ooh, that looks like real vandalism. See, you don't have to go out and spray paint things. You just do it in Photoshop. Oh goodness, become your own online Banksy. All right, so change the blending mode to the no surrender group to multiply and expand it. All right, so let's tuck this one in, expand no surrender. Let's see, target no surrender, change to multiply. Oh man, Nico, that was perfectly timed. Oh goodness, y'all are cracking me up today. All right, duplicate the hue saturation adjustment layer and drag it into the no surrender group so that it's the top layer of the group. All right. What we're gonna do is we're gonna target like this, and then we're gonna hold Alt, and then we'll drag down here and pop it right there so that it's the first layer in that group. And so everything we had already done applies now. And then, yeah, that's it. Yay, we're finished. Okay. So you can close 6-2. You don't need to turn that in. That was your alphabet. And then no surrender or another brick in the wall, or we don't need no education. Right. You know, that one, you can close that as well. So save. And then open 6-3. Oh, remember the dragon. Cute. The dragon's so cute. Okay. So what we're going to do is copy, select all, copy, and then close. So select all. All right. And then edit, copy, and then we'll close this file, and we're going to open 6-4. And this is the one that made me laugh super hard. This is going to be called The Man with the Dragon Tattoo. So save as. Man with the Dragon Tattoo. That is not spelled correctly. All right. Yep. This guy doesn't even know what's about to happen. Okay, so now paste the copied image into the Man with the Dragon Tattoo file and name the new layer Dragon. So we'll do Control V to paste. And then this layer, we'll name it Dragon. What do you think? Is this going to look good? Everyone who takes this class now, when you turn tattoo age, you have to go get this particular dragon tattooed. And you'll be like, I was in Photoshop 23. But anyway, okay, so add a hue saturation adjustment layer and clip it into the dragon layer. So remember, there are 2 ways to do this. One, we can hold Alt and right click to re-clip the hue and saturation layer if you want to do it that way, or make the hue and saturation layer, then hold Alt, go in between the layers and clip it that way. So 2 ways. All right. Click colorize on the hue. Click colorize, drag the hue slider to 100 and the saturation to 20. So hue, we're going to go 100 and saturation 20. And then target the dragon layer and multiply. Scale the artwork down 50%. I put a note in here because I can't remember the last time we scaled something. So to scale, you'll go to Menu, Edit, Transform, Scale. And then in the Options panel, enter 50 in the W and H box. All right, so Edit, Transform, Scale. And then in your Options panel here, you have your W and your H box. And you can enter 50 to scale down 50% in each, or use the little link thing here that will make the width and the height the same. All right, so with the dragon layer still targeted, add a levels adjustment. Hold on 1 second. Yes. All right. So you'll need the check to say your transformation is. There we go. All right. So now add your levels adjustment layer. It didn't say to clip it in, so I'm not doing that. On the properties panel, drag the white triangle to 219. The middle gray to 1.05. Didn't say do anything with the black. It doesn't. All right, so position the dragon so that it's centered on the man's upper arm near his shoulder. All right, so come back here to dragon. Oh, it clipped itself. Okay. Now we're just gonna move dragon down here. Zoom in. It says 300%. You can just, zoom in as much as you'd like so you can see what's going on. So click filter on the menu bar, point to blur, and click Gaussian blur. Okay, so filter. We haven't been in here in a minute either. There we go. And then drag the radius slider to 0.5 pixels. Mine's already there. And then click OK. Press and hold Command or Control and drag then click the dragon layer thumbnail. All right. So Control, Command, and then click. All right, we have a selection. The selection is rectangular because even though the artwork's white background is not visible in multiply mode, it's still there. All right, so now we're going to click Filter, Distort, and Pinch. So Filter, Distort, Pinch. And the pinch filter makes images either convex or concave. So we're going to do -15. And then click OK. And then on the layers panel, change the opacity to 80% and compare your results. Okay. So opacity, oops. Come on, let me highlight that. 80. And compare. So I'm gonna Control V to deselect. What do y'all think? My first tattoo. Is he going to pay me? Oh, and I finished so early. Amazing. All right. Well, that's it for today. So file, save. Okay. And yeah, the radius slider for which step? So under Gaussian blur, that's step 12. Yeah, step 12. Step 12 tells you what to do in step 13. All right. So any other questions about these? Good deal. All right. Well, I'm going to shut it down. I hope that y'all have a great weekend. Let me know if you need anything. I'll see y'all on Tuesday.